guys, it's Minimalist and welcome to another video, and this time I'm building a kind of minimalist modern family home. I mean, it's pretty big but with far less decoration than I usually put in because unlike my usual builds, I actually had a budget to work with. It was about 80,000, which you can see on the screen there, and I know that's a lot. But for someone who doesn't usually have a budget and loves to add a ton of decorations and a ton of clutter, it was very challenging to me. Especially as I made quite a big shell and I was actually working with a budget because I was building for the Sim family that I'm playing in the game. When Snowy Escape first came out, I made a Japanese inspired family home that was base game and Snowy Escape only. So you can definitely check that out on my channel if you want to. And then I made a family to move them in and play with them, and you know, I really love the house, but to be honest, it was kind of small, and you know, I had a child sim and a toddler in the house that were just about to age up into a teenager and a child respectively. And their rooms were kind of small, plus I wanted to get cats, so I decided to sell their house and build a bigger one without using cheats to give them more money, although I did use the free real estate cheat to buy them the first house, so I guess I did cheat, but this time around I didn't, so I think that's fair enough. And then I'm just doing the roofing here, which I say in every video, but that is something that I always struggle with, and I think in 90% of my builds, I don't know if this is reflected on my channel, but even like builds that I don't upload, I always use these kind of diagonal roofing. It's quite a modern look, which is why I kind of think this house is a little bit modern, but I don't know, I just find them a lot easier to use than any other roofing structures. And actually this house isn't on the gallery because I do use custom content, I should say that now. I love building with custom content and I haven't done so for a while, so I was just really itching to do so. I've downloaded like a load of cool new things, so I really wanted to just try them out. And then here, I just wanted to talk about this because I've tried practicing. I did this in another build I did recently as well, practicing with like fancy hedge structures and fencing and stuff just to add a bit more of a dynamic look to the front of the house. And I did kind of cut out the footage of me placing about 100 different sort of hedges to get this look. And then I just used the fences from Eco Lifestyle around it, and so yeah, I thought it just made the like entry way of the house just that little bit more interesting, and of course some like cute fairy lights and fencing and stuff around the sort of balcony at the top. You can't really go into that area. I did just put a window, not a door, but I think it's still cute nonetheless. And I said this before in another video, but for me, when I try to make a modern house, I focus on the shape of the house and doing a lot of different bump outs and different textures of wallpapers and just creating like a lot of color and a lot of shape. To me, that really does make a house look a lot more modern, so that's what I'm just doing now. This is like a custom content brick pattern that actually comes in pretty much every color you could imagine, so that's really, really cool. And in terms of the back garden, I haven't actually added anything except this one tree because, as I said, I was working to a budget, and like the whole time that I was building, I would have to really rein myself in from adding like a ton of things. There are definitely some unnecessary things here. I didn't want to have it completely minimal, so there is definitely decoration, but it's a lot more on the subtle side, especially compared to what I usually build. If you've seen any of my other build videos on my channel, I have a whole speed build playlist if you do want to check it out, and if you've seen them, you'll know that I do love just to experiment with lots of different decorations and clutter and colors and patterns and all that stuff. So basically with the first house that I built, so I mentioned I made that base game and Snowy Escape house, a lot of the items that came with Snowy Escape are very neutral in color, which I mentioned at the time. So that house was very sort of white, black and grey, and as a result the family I made was also kind of in that color scheme. Like I imagine them to be very cool, modern like family. So it's the mum and the dad and their 2 children. And I decided to keep that going with this house. So I used a lot of neutral colors and a lot of like light woods and stuff, which again, I think really helps with the kind of minimalist and modern look of the house. And as I said, I can't help it. I just build really big shells. I tend to use up as much space as possible on the lot. In terms of the garden, just going back to that, I have, now that I've been playing in this house with my Sims for maybe about a sim week, I think, I've dedicated it to gardening because I think like a day after finishing this house and playing with the Sims, I got the bill through, which took pretty much all of the money I had left over. So I've got 1 sim into painting and 1 sim into gardening to quickly make that money back. And I think we're now sat at about 2,000 simoleons, I think, so it's not too bad. But at one point we had about 100. So, but I kind of like that. I don't like cheating. I like cheating to have nice houses from the get-go, but I don't like cheating to add a lot of money to, you know, the family household, because I don't know, I like the challenge. I like the challenge of building up the money. When I got Eco Lifestyle, I made a couple and I didn't even cheat to get their house. I moved them into a starter house, and at one point, yeah, they had about 100 to 200 simoleons, and by the time I reached the 3rd generation, which is when Snowy Escape came out, they were literal millionaires, pretty much exclusively from gardening. But it definitely helps that they were quite a big family and they were all like level 10 of their careers as well. But it is quite easy in The Sims 4. I know a lot of people know this already. It is quite easy in The Sims 4 to make money. So, but it does add a nice challenge, because I think once you're rich, it's nice, but there's only so many things that you can spend your money on in this game. So yeah, I do kind of like that initial challenge of just building up the money. And then in terms of the downstairs floor plan, there's a kitchen and a dining room. Let me think. Living room, there's a study, a sort of basically just an entire room for the washing machine and the dryer. There's quite a few like hallways. There's a room for a hedgehog. We've got a hedgehog for the first time. I don't think I've ever added these to my builds. I've never played with anything that really came with my first pet stuff, so having the hedgehog was quite cool. I got like 500 simoleons just from having the hedgehog. I think it's quite a little fun addition. It sort of popped up that he'd written a book and had got royalties from it, so that was quite nice. That definitely helped me with the simoleons and paying the bills. And then upstairs, it's, let me think, 3 bedrooms, and then there's 1 bathroom upstairs and 1 bathroom downstairs. So in terms of the family that lives here, the sort of mum and the dad, the mum, her name is Asami, and her aspiration is basically to explore Mount Komorebi. And she is a salary person, which is the new career that came with Snowy Escape. And my playstyle of The Sims is very boring. Like, I love household tasks, like doing laundry, cooking and cleaning the house, and I love the fact that they added an office worker profession. I've actually been wanting that in the game, and it's so boring, I know, but I'm an office worker in real life, and I just find it so much more realistic. Like, it's definitely more exciting to be, you know, a police officer or a teacher or a firefighter, but most people do just work in an office for a company, so I really like that they added that. So then that's Asami, and then her husband is Suburo, and he has that aspiration to be an extreme sports enthusiast, but he's not very good. I think it's a very challenging sort of set of skills. I have heard some people say the opposite, but I don't know. I think he's at level 3, I think, of skiing, and every single ride down the slope he falls, and he's like depressed basically because of how bad he is. Every time I make him do rock climbing, he just falls off. Like, I think it is quite a challenging skill. And then, like I said, I am now making him do some gardening just to earn us some extra money, because as I said in the past, it definitely worked for me. And also as well, like when I have Sims that reach their aspiration, I always give them the money tree reward trait. And then when you grow that, you get 5,000 simoleons every single day. And I think with that household that I played for Eco Lifestyle, we literally had 3 money trees in the garden. So we were getting like 15,000 simoleons every single day. So that definitely helped as well. But yeah, so he's going to do some gardening. And then in terms of their children, you have Kiko, who is now a teenager. And my sort of dream for her is that she's going to become an art critic, which is actually a career that I haven't explored yet in the game. So she's like very edgy. She's very cool. So her bedroom is quite out there. You may have seen it. It's the one with the zebra print and the sort of pink patterns and the blue carpet. So yeah, I just have the vision that she's, you know, wears some very edgy clothing and she's got quite a cool style. She's quite out there. And then the son, his name is Takeo. So when I made the family, I made Asami, Saburo, and Kiko, and then they gave birth, well, Asami gave birth to Takeo in the game. And my dream for him is that when he's older, he is going to both knit and be a spellcaster, which I know is a really random combination, but I've bought a lot of packs recently that were on sale, including Realm of Magic, and I haven't really had an opportunity to fully play with the features that came with them, so I definitely want to do that with the kids. He will probably end up marrying a vampire, because that's another thing I haven't fully explored yet. So I think that will definitely be fun. And actually, I really love the pack. We're coming on to a month now that it's been out, and I have to say, I really like it. I think it's a great pack. I'm having so much fun sort of exploring Mount Komorebi and exploring the skills and attending the festivals. And yeah, I'm having a blast. Like, I actually can't wait to sort of sit down and play The Sims. I actually did lose my job this month, and I'm not even that mad about it because I basically have unlimited time to play The Sims and build and make videos, so I'm pretty happy actually. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm just basically really enjoying building with all the new items and making Sims. I love the cast, I love the build buy. I just really like the pack. I know some people don't like it, but yeah, for me, I really enjoy it. I'd love to know what you guys think. I think it is a pretty popular pack, which is good. I think The Sims really needed that just for morale, because I think people were getting pretty sick of some not so well received packs, shall we say. But yeah, again, trying to keep it as minimal as possible, but it was so difficult for me. Like, I'm not the kind of person who builds starter homes. I definitely would love to do that for my channel one day, especially just as a challenge to myself, because I think it's really important to challenge yourself. But it kind of goes against everything I usually do. As I say, I love big houses, I love lots of decoration, I love lots of clutter, I love, you know, filling the walls with paintings and adding lots of clutter on the shelves, like the kitchen. I used cabinets and counters that had a lot of sort of shelving and space, and I did not put any clutter items on there, which killed me, but it was kind of necessary because, like I say, we were working with a budget and we had a lot of different rooms to furnish, so I really tried my best. And like I say, coming back to the idea of a challenge, I like the idea of really growing the wealth of this family, and as they do, I can keep kind of adding on to the build and adding new decorations and stuff. And actually, funny story, I just put a painting there. It's a custom content painting, and I use it in all of my custom content builds basically because I absolutely love it. And our daughter Kiko, she has a friend and she's already in the world. Oh, I can't remember her name. I think it's Nanami. I think that's it. And she was still a child, so I aged her into a teenager and she stole the painting. I think she might be a kleptomaniac, but that simultaneously shocked me and made me laugh. We don't have the sharing is caring NAP, so I think she may be a kleptomaniac. But she literally was just stood in front of me and just swiped the painting. So this is like a little reminder to future me to go back into the build and add it in again, because yeah, it's not there anymore because someone stole it. But yeah, like I say, I absolutely love working with custom content. It is a bit annoying, you know, that if people don't have that piece of custom content, they can't download builds from the gallery. So that's why I don't even really bother adding my custom content builds onto the gallery, but I still love doing them anyway because yeah, it just adds so many more options for like decoration and personalization. And yeah, you know, when I don't build with custom content, which, you know, I'm doing a lot more now because I'm sort of uploading videos to my channel and uploading them onto the gallery, I always find myself just thinking, you know, oh, I wish I had more choices of paintings to put in this little corner, and I wish I, you know, could put this sort of plant in the corner, but I can't because I know it's custom content. So it's quite nice to have a lot more options. Like I've said it before, like when you build a lot as well, you do tend to use the same kind of items, so it's nice to switch it up where you can. And then just moving upstairs, the other good thing about building a bit more of a minimal house is that it doesn't take quite as long. As I said, it's big, you know, it's quite a big house, it's 2 stories, and if I'd have decorated it to the extent that I usually decorate houses, it probably would have taken me twice as long to build. But because I was essentially just putting in the basics and then decorating it ever so slightly, it didn't take too long. And then I just put the cat tray there. I did end up adopting 2 cats for my family. So one is an adult cat called Pockets, and then the other one is a kitten called Butter. That's it. I couldn't remember the name then. They're really, really cute. I love adopting pets. I know some people aren't as huge a fan of the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. I think a lot of people, maybe pets is a bit of a novelty that they kind of forget about, I guess. But for me, I always add pets to my household because I love them. They're so cute. Like I love seeing the little kitten like running around the house. It's absolutely adorable. But yeah, anyway, this is Kiko's bedroom. She was a child when I built this, so I did make this a child's room, and then Takeo's room is a toddler's room. But basically when they aged up in my game, I just swapped the furniture for something a little bit older, but the vibe is still there. And this is kind of what I mean with the fact that she's, maybe this isn't edgy, maybe this is just better described as out there, perhaps. Quirky, maybe a better word. But yeah, lots of like bright colours and bold patterns. Something kind of stereotypically hipster art critic, I guess, is kind of what I'm going for, which is very much my style. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was Kiko's room, and then this is actually the parents' room. And to be honest, this is probably my favourite room in the house, and I think this room probably best captures the kind of vibe I was going for in terms of like a modern minimalist style, like with a lot of the whites and light colours and that gorgeous brick wallpaper, which is a piece of custom content, I believe. But yeah, I really, really liked how the bedroom turned out, and it was definitely my favourite room. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. That would mean so much to me. But yeah, until my next video, bye!